Oh, hello. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. If you think this video provides you with information that will help you and inspire you to cook, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Sometimes I find it difficult to cook for my family of three because each one of us have our individual preferences. For example, my wife loves cheese, and my son likes burger, steak, and hot dogs, and I like squid and clams. So anytime when I find something that all three of us like, I will jump on it immediately. You might be surprised to find that all three of us like tofu. I was very surprised as well because my wife grew up in a typical Midwest farm family. As you would imagine, she never grew up with tofu. In fact, the first time she had tofu is when I cooked it for her. And she did not like it initially, as what most people experience. But she come to like it more and more. Now she loves it. My son also surprised me because he is more or less a carnivore at heart. He likes hot dog, burger, and steak. To me, this is like a culinary and nutritional gift that fall right onto my lap. So I'm not going to do too much soul searching and to find out why. Tofu is made from soy milk by adding a coagulum, usually something like a Gibson, and then you boil it and it will settle out and then you press it into cubes. Tofu is based on the coagulation of proteins in the soy milk. It is not a fermented product like cheese. I personally love tofu, but how and why I like it is always a mystery to me because tofu has a very bland taste. Perhaps the blandness is the secret of tofu and why so many people like it, because it serves as a blank canvas for different flavor to bring it along. There are many different kinds of tofu. In countries like Japan, they have so many different kinds, just like the different type of potato chips that you have in the supermarket. In this video, I'm going to tell you a particular kind of tofu that you probably have never heard of it before, and it is called tofu puff. It very much looks like a miniature beach ball. It is soft and puffy. Now, when you cut it open inside, it looks like a sponge. A tofu puff is really fried tofu. They drop little cubes of tofu into very hot oil to create this structure. A tofu puff turned out to be one of the favorite food in our family. So every time when we have this dish, we all dive for it. Until about several years ago, we normally can only have tofu puff in restaurants because it is difficult to fry them at home. Now tofu puff is available in package in the store. Now it's not as good as when it is fresh, but it's good enough. Again, very much like the regular tofu, the tofu puff is relatively bland and it can take on flavor of the dish. Its sponge-like structure allow it to soak up the sauce from the dish, make it really delicious. In this video, I'm going to show you a tofu puff dish that I created that will fit all our family's taste preference. This dish contains the following ingredients. It starts out with garlic, followed by ground pork and jalapeno pepper, and then cauliflower stems and leaves, and then Brussels sprouts, as well as carrot. The first thing I did when I entered into the kitchen is to thaw out 8 ounces of ground pork. I dropped the ground pork in a sink of warm water. We included that because my son likes to have meat in almost all the dishes that I cook. I then cut the tofu puff in half because that will expose the sponge texture, allow it to soak up the sauce during cooking. I also chop up 1 large jalapeno pepper because my son loves spicy food. It took me just about several minutes to prepare these 2 items ready for cooking. The rest of the prep are already done earlier. For the Brussels sprouts and the carrot, they took a little bit longer to cook. So I'm going to microwave them for about 2 minutes to give them a head start. By this time, the ground pork has already been thawed. So I'm going to put them in a container and I'm going to marinate it with a little bit of soy sauce. Okay, now everything is ready to go. So I'm going to first start by saute some garlic to flavor the oil. After I saute the garlic, I will start cook the ground pork first because that takes longer to cook. I make sure that it is well done. In about 1 minute, the ground pork is cooked. The next, I'm going to add the jalapeno pepper. Now, there's a little bit caveat in cooking the jalapeno pepper. If I add the jalapeno pepper earlier in the cooking process, the dish is not going to be as spicy. But if I want it to be spicier, I will add it later, because then you will not cook the jalapeno pepper too much and you can taste it much better. After stir fry the content for a few seconds, I next add the cauliflower stem and leaves. I chop up the cauliflower stems and leaves so that I will use every part of the cauliflower. In the past, I used to throw them away, but then I soon realized that not they are only nutritious, but they are also delicious, and they add texture to the dish. Since they already chop up in small pieces, so they cook rapidly. I add the tofu pulp at the end. Since they're already cooked, all they need to do is to be warmed up and to saturate it with the sauces from the dish. Lastly, I add the Brussels sprouts and the carrots way at the end, because now I'm going to finish up the dish. This is the time to create the sauce. I first, by adding water, I add a lot of water because the tofu pulp is going to suck it up like a sponge. So the last part is for me to flavor the dish. So I'm going to describe how I do it in principle, because this is the part is where I would call it flavor chasing. I will continue to modify, adjust as I go along the way. I'm looking for a rich and complex flavor. So because of this, I'm going to use both herbs, spices, in addition to use different sauces. After adding the herbs and spices from my spice box, I then use light soy sauce, dark soy sauce, hoisin sauce, and the Korean barbecue sauce. I will do taste testing and make adjustment along the way with the consideration of what my son would enjoy. Okay, now the dish is done with the total cook time of 6 minutes and 30 seconds. If I include the prep time that I spend on the few small items, the total cook time is about 15 minutes. This dish in many ways represents the different attributes of my fast cooking system. A selection of the ingredients as well as the use of different seasoning agents is to achieve the flavor that I am looking for, and this is where flavor chasing comes in. The advanced prepping as well as the stir fry allow this dish to be cooked efficiently. This dish is based on templates that I am already familiar with. So using this template-based cooking, it allowed me to make modifications and adjustments to meet the preference as well as what is available. This video is not a recipe, but it's a demonstration of the principle of the fast cooking system. I hope it gives you an idea so you can try this out in your kitchen with what is available to you and what is your personal preference. Thank you for watching. Please click the like icon below if you enjoyed this video. This will help me to increase the visibility of my channel as well as to reach a broader audience. Please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to receive notification of my future video postings. See you next time.